Oh yeah, I was very much surprised when Gary Ellis announced to me that I received this award. I was very surprised, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't expect it. There are several people that influenced me in my career. First of all, Emil Tomanik, who was the wrestling coach at Allegan. He was really my mentor. I learned a lot from Emil. I worked with him and coached with him both in football and wrestling. He also received this award early in, I think, one of the first ones, and I presented it to him. Another one is Jim McKinley. He was a football coach at Allegan when him and I both started at Allegan at the same time. And our second year, he became the head coach. He's probably the most successful head coach in Allegan that we had. He was a dedicated taskmaster that I really learned a lot from. Sport was in our family. My father played football for Grand Rapids Ottawa Hills. He actually played football against Gerald Ford. They were in the same era. That's when they had the helmets with no mask and leather helmets and so forth. The first legendary coach that I played for was Okie Johnson. He was a coach at Muskegon Heights. And the next coach I had the opportunity to coach was Russ DeVette from Hope College. I learned a lot from him for the 2 years I was there. Then I transferred out to Minnesota State University, played for another legendary coach. And that guy's name was Bob Otto. He's on the Hall of Fame for Minnesota coaches. My wife, Kathy, who I met in Minnesota, I knew right away that she was one for me because our first date, we went to a track meet, indoor track meet, a wrestling meet, and a basketball game all in the same night. And then she stayed right with me and she really liked it, so I knew she was the one I needed to raise my family. So I brought her back to Michigan and we raised 3 kids. I coached 3 sports a year all my career, and my kids all played 3 sports. I think that that's changed a lot. Coaches have changed, kids have changed. There's certain things that you can't do now that you used to be able to do. My kids, I'll use it as an example. We lived close to elementary school in Allegan, and about a block away. And they would go over there and they'd play baseball and basketball all day long with all the neighborhood kids that all meet over there, and they'd play all day long. It got so bad that I hooked up a horn up in my upstairs window, and when it was time for them to come home for supper, I'd blow the horn and they'd all come on home. And all the kids, neighbor kids, would go home too. And I found out later the parents were all happy about that because all the kids got home for supper. When I first started coaching baseball, I'd go out to practice, and the kids, we'd practice, and the kids, they wouldn't want to quit. They kept saying, "How much can we stay here longer? Can we stay here longer?" And I said, "Fine." And then sometimes they'd even come back after supper and come back and hit in the batting cage. Then near the end of my career, the kids started saying, "How much longer is practice? When are we going to get out of here?" And so things changed a little bit. I came out to practice one day, and all of a sudden the kids come running out of the dugout. And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "There's bats in our dugout." And I said, "Yeah, we play with them every day, bats and balls." And they said, "Oh, no, real one." And I went in there, and there was really real bats in their dugout, so they weren't kidding me on that. We played Plainwell at the old Plainwell football field, and Jack Stridle was the coach, and Jim was our head coach. We were playing near the end of the game. We scored a touchdown. We were down by a point, and my star player, Dan Heckman, he came running off the field, hobbling off the field, saying his ankle was hurt. And I grabbed a hold of him, turned him around, threw him back in, and said, "You're going back in. We need you out there." And he caught the winning touchdown. Anybody can coach good athletes. If you have really good athletes, you're going to look like a star. When you have athletes with lesser ability, that really brings out the coaching in you. You're really a father figure to them when you're out there coaching. Some of them, really don't have father figure, but they're really looking up to you. The way you act is the way they're going to act. When I retired, I actually went into refereeing more. I learned a lot about rules. I learned a lot of coaches that didn't know the rules. So know the rules. I think that probably all new coaches should get into refereeing a little bit so they understand the other side of the coin. Probably the most important thing is you're developing them for the rest of their lives. They're going to learn from you what to expect in life. Because you'll have people come up to you and say, hey, I learned this from you. I was so happy that you taught me this and that and so forth. So it's very rewarding. Time goes by really fast. Enjoy coaching. Enjoy what you're doing. Thank you.